Hey guys, welcome to the new video. You have probably heard that Mandarin Chinese is very hard to learn. You may even feel intimidated after hearing about the 4 tones and the thousands of Chinese characters. Guys, I didn't even mention Cantonese, which has 9 tones. But today, we are going to focus on Mandarin Chinese, which is the most widely spoken language in the world with over 1.3 billion speakers. What if I told you that Mandarin is not as difficult as you think? They just wanted to freak you out. And there are plenty of amazing self-learning resources. All you need is some guidance on finding the right learning resources, methods, and a good plan. If you are new to this channel, my name is Zoe. I'm a polyglot who speaks 7 languages. Chinese is my native language. In addition to my experience in learning new languages, I've compiled a lot of information over the years as someone who has done a lot of attendant exchanges and taught Mandarin to foreigners. I've seen their weaknesses and areas of struggle. In this video, I want to just list a couple of apps or YouTube channels and drown you in endless resources and confusion.
Why don't you explain this to me like I am an 8-year-old?
Instead, I will guide you through concrete methods on how to study Chinese from the beginner to an advanced level. For each level, I will recommend specific resources to target different skills. At the end, I will give you an applicable daily routine plan so you can kickstart your learning journey today. The study plan I will be sharing today will take you from Hsk1 to Hsk6 in 20 months. However, please keep in mind that this plan requires a lot of motivation, consistency, and discipline. So please adjust it to a suitable version based on your situation. Maybe you already have an intermediate level, but I still recommend not skipping the beginner level where I will be sharing the most useful learning tools to help structure your learning. Don't forget to give me a like if you appreciate my work. Now, 废话少说，开始吧。Let me explain briefly. What is the HSK? HSK stands for 汉语水平考试, which is the standard Chinese proficiency test for non-native speaker. It's divided into 6 levels, start from elementary to advanced. Each level contains a number of vocabulary and grammar points you need to learn. By the way, I made this video according to the old HSK as almost resources and apps are built on it. And don't worry about the NHSK as the language remains the same and the new tests that haven't been initiated yet. For this level, 1 goal, discover the language system and prepare the basic learning tools. Pinyin and Hanzi are 2 important components of Mandarin language system. What is Hanzi? Hanzi are the Chinese characters used in written Mandarin. They are pictographic and ideographic symbols that present words or concepts. They are essential for reading and writing Mandarin. We use simplified Hanzi in mainland China, traditional Hanzi in Hong Kong, Taiwan, or other Chinese-speaking regions. What is Pinyin? Pinyin is a system for representing Mandarin pronunciation using the Latin alphabet. It uses letters and diacritical marks to indicate the 4 tones as well as the specific sounds of Mandarin phonemes. Pinyin is often used as a teaching tool for non-native speakers as it provides a more accessible way to learn pronunciation and tone before tackling the complex characters of Hanzi. The most important thing when you study Chinese is setting the foundations for pronunciation and tones right. You want to build up the language with healthy habits and a strong foundation. So in the first week of the plan, you will focus on tones and pinyin. It only takes about a week to get familiar with sounds of a language. You are lucky as there are now plenty of resources to practice tones and pronunciation. I recommend these 3 videos. Try listening to these videos during the week and pause and actively practice along with it. Repeat each sound out loud until you feel comfortable with the pronunciation. As there are some apps that offer pinyin and tone training, or you can start with the basics using a well-structured app such as SuperChinese, where you can also train your pronunciation with the help of AI. I don't recommend starting too long in the beginning, just 15 minutes to discover the language with the app and build the learning habit. During this period, please focus on Pinyin. If you have a Chinese friend or tandem partner, you can also ask them to help you correct your pronunciation. Now we will get into week 2. People often say, oh, writing in Chinese is so difficult and complicated, maybe I should just learn Pinyin.
Why so weak?
But guys, to be honest, Hanzi is the heart of Chinese language. It's true that nowadays we can type them with Pinyin, which is more foreigner-friendly. But remember, writing is still the best way to understand and memorize Hanzi. So it should not be ignored from the beginning. One mistake that people make when learning Hanzi is jumping immediately into the HSK vocabulary list. But starting to learn Hanzi without understanding the radicals will only make everything harder in the future. So what are the radicals? In the Chinese writing system, a radical is a graphical component of a character that gives it its meaning and helps in the classification and indexing of the character. Radicals are often known as keys or clues and often indicate the semantic category of the character. There are a total of 215 radicals in Chinese writing system, which are used to classify and organize the characters in dictionaries and other reference materials. For example, the character for tree, mu, is made out of the radical for wood, mu, and the phonetic component. This component indicates the pronunciation of the character. By recognizing and understanding the radical of a character, one can more easily learn and remember new characters that are related in meaning. For example, when we were in elementary school, we all had to start from learning radicals in Chinese lessons. From the radicals, we start to learn a set of Hanzi, then related words. So for week 2, I suggest starting only the most common radicals, which number around 55. At this level, focus on understanding what each radical represents. This part will take around 2 weeks to complete, and you will be studying a couple of radicals every day through writing. Try to find corresponding Hanzi with each radical, but you don't need to memorize them yet. Just focus on the function of the radical. Is essential to train how you picture a character from the beginning. To practice writing, whether it's Hanzi or radicals, you can use Tofu Learning, which offers many writing practice sets for each level, and also Folder Radicals is available on both mobile app and desktop versions. Or you can buy notebooks designed for Chinese children to learn Hanzi. These are very helpful for practicing stroke order and writing. You can find them easily on Amazon or AliExpress. If you live in China, you can find them easily on Taobao. Oh, you can even consider buying a Chinese radical poster. Another important tip, guys, always add the Pinyin when you write down a radical or a word. It's a good habit to get used to reading Pinyin while writing any characters. The Pleco dictionary can help you break down every character into the basic components. It's gonna be a great free tool during your whole Mandarin learning journey. If you have more budget, there is a paid dictionary called Handbook, which is also great. This dictionary offers more than just the word definitions. It offers many great features such as adding words to your own private collection and then reviewing with flashcards and testing later. Please continue practicing tones and pronunciation in this phase. Hsk1. Now we have the basic concept about the language and we have prepared the basic tools. In Hsk1 level, you can expect to understand and use simple words and phrases. Hsk1 is a beginner level. You only have 150 words. I estimated 15 days to complete this level. Every day, you will be requested to study 10 characters only. If you prefer to study with the structured book, the Hsk box will be the best option, where you have the word list, conversation, grammar points, and detailed explanations. There are YouTube videos based on these books. You can check out these 2 Hsk1 courses on YouTube. They cover all the lessons from standard Hsk books. For levels Hsk 2 to 6, you can also use this book collection and videos as your main learning resources. So here's the plan. First, set your goal. Start with writing 10 characters every day. The writing practice shouldn't take more than 30 minutes. I believe writing is the most effective way to memorize vocabulary. With this method, you hit two birds with one stone. Memorize the meaning and practice writing. You don't have to fill tons of papers with the characters over and over. Try writing every character a couple of times, then on a separate paper. Test yourself and see if you can remember. Keep doing this until you remember each word. Another useful technique is to make a separate paper with only pinyin and meaning. Try to remember the corresponding Hanzi. And don't forget to do a weekly review every weekend to emphasize everything you have learned. Secondly, you can choose any flashcards apps and set it to study 10 characters every day. You can use the apps like superChinese, Hsk Study, Quizlet, where there are prepared decks based on a different learning book. Or you can even build your own set. You can use Anki, Quizlet, or Memrise. The third thing you must do is practice listening and speaking. Repeat every word out loud. Here I recommend you a YouTube video that explains all the Hsk vocabulary with meaning and sentence examples. The cool thing about this video is that there's a time step for each word, so you can visit it quickly. The fourth thing that you need to do is go to the Chinese Wiki website that contains all of the grammar points divided by each level from Hsk1 to Hsk6 with a set of examples. You can choose to study one grammatical point every day. That's a very good idea. Or if you have already purchased the Hsk books, you can follow through with each lesson. Both will work. Hsk2 in terms of difficulty is more or less same as Hsk1. In this level, I advise the same study plan as Hsk1. Stick to a main resource such as Hsk books. Don't forget to integrate Hanzi writing in your daily routine. You will be studying 10 new words a day on the course of 2 weeks. If you have time, you can start to watch other Mandarin learning YouTube channels or Instagrammers such as this way you can start gradually surrounding yourself with language. The short videos on Instagram can increase your information in a couple of seconds only. When you are walking or driving, you can also listen to podcasts. I highly recommend ChinesePod. They offer a vocabulary explanation and grammatical points for each level in both Mandarin and English. They also give some insight into Chinese society, so you can begin to understand people as you can't separate language from culture. You can also try out this listening comprehension from Learn Chinese with Chinese Class 101. After you finish this level, you can test the listening skills. And finally, the last level of the elementary series, Hsk3. After completing this level, you will be able to hold basic conversation in daily life and communicate with people while traveling in China. Hsk3 typically takes about 1 month to complete. All the resources and methods mentioned before still work for this level. Stick to your favorite main learning resource. Don't try to study from all resources at once or use 3 different apps at the same time. It will overwhelm you. Do Hanzi writing exercise and the daily flashcards. In your free time, start integrating elementary level podcasts into your daily routine. For example, Chinese Class 101, which covers all Hsk levels from beginner to advanced. They have English translation for the beginner levels and Mandarin only for advanced level. They also offer some culture insight and interesting facts about life in China. You can also start to listen to Chinese songs. I personally like Mo Wenwei, Wang Fei, Chen Yixun. You can even watch Chinese vocal shows like 我是歌手, 我们的歌. The good thing about this type of show is that they always put lyrics on the screen, so you can try to recognize some Hanzi, which is a good exercise. Practicing singing with lyrics can be very rewarding in the future when you have a Chinese friend and go into karaoke bars and flex your Mandarin skills. In this level, you should be able to discuss a wide range of topics in Chinese and communicate fluently with native speakers in common situations. As for your learning routine, I suggest you start integrating TV shows, series, or videos into your practice. For example, 爸爸去哪儿 is a very cute show. If you enjoy anime, there are a lot of Chinese options such as 大鱼海棠、中国奇谭、西游记之大圣归来、白蛇缘起、哪吒之魔童降世. These shows often incorporate traditional Chinese culture and literature, providing an interesting way to explore Chinese culture. If you talk about this with your Chinese friends, they will be impressed. Like here, 中国奇谭 is very new. It's an 8 Chinese folk tales collection. You can find it on YouTube with Chinese and English subtitles. For Chinese videos, Bilibili, Chinese YouTube, is a great platform to explore. And you can also follow Chinese YouTubers who discuss daily topics like April for makeup contents. Guys, she's amazing. Or Amanda, Taste for Cooking, or 美食作家王刚 for authentic Chinese food. Trust me, cooking Chinese food is the best way to discover Chinese culture. Many of these videos have English subtitles, but it's important to always put on the Chinese subtitles and try to read Hanzi. There is one Chinese learning channel which is great for these levels of listening skill, Mandarin Corner. They offer a very interesting podcast that discuss interesting topics about daily life of Chinese people, such as what does the Chinese people think about trading the one trial policy, or what Chinese people think about dating foreigners. And they offer Hanzi, Pinyin, and English transcripts for each episode. For the intermediate level, you can listen to Chi-Chat, Learn Chinese and Chill. What is great about this podcast is that they break down the grammar and the sentence structure in a very simple way. The topics are very engaging and they cover a variety of levels. It's important to practice listening at natural speaking speed and start noticing the difference between colloquial and standard speaking. You should also focus more on grammar and sentence structure. Chinese grammar is not complicated, but at the intermediate or advanced level, there are many grammar points and details to pay attention to in order to speak more naturally. But if you encounter any grammar problems, you can always use Chinese Wiki to search and practice. Hsk 5 is more like an upper intermediate level. By the end of this level, you are expected to be able to read Chinese newspapers and magazines, watch Chinese films and TV shows, write and deliver full speeches. To improve your language skill, I recommend watching more advanced TV series and news, as well as listening to advanced podcasts. You should also continue practicing writing and building up your vocabulary. For TV series, I highly recommend 家有儿女, Chinese Growing Pains, which is a comedy that covers a lot of daily topics. Most importantly, they speak in a standard accent that is perfect for you to imitate and practice. Another great series is 爱情公寓, Chinese Friends, which is also a comedy that covers daily topics. If you are interested in more sociological insight into Chinese society and young people's life, I recommend 30而已, which talks about the lives of 3 30-year-old Chinese women. The good thing about Chinese series is that they all have Hanzi subtitles. If you want to check out the new trendy series, you can check out 腾讯视频 Tencent Video. For reality shows, check out 腾讯视频热播综艺 and 湖南卫视芒果 TV 官方频道, China Hunan TV official channel. The thing about learning Chinese is that unlike other language, the most difficult part is at the beginning. By the time you reach Hsk 5 or 6, you will only be adding new words and grammar points for each level. In terms of writing, it will be much easier as the same characters components are broken apart and rearranged to create new words. It's like you are almost done completing a puzzle and things have become more clearer and easier. Congratulations, you have made it to the final level of the Hsk. This level is particularly challenging as it's packed with the new vocabulary and information and typically takes around 9 to 10 months to complete. By now, I hope you have moved away from relying on your native language to translate or understand Chinese. At this level, you will be fully immersed in the language and be able to engage with Chinese social medias, read comments, and interact with others. In Hsk 6, you will be expected to understand virtually everything you hear or read in Chinese. To help you with this level, I recommend exploring Chinese contents that Chinese speakers consume. The topic will be more complicated, but it's a great way to improve your language skill. Here, I wanted to share a fantastic Chinese food documentary with you 舌尖上的中国 A Bite of China. I'm sorry guys, I'm just super foodie. This documentary is not only about food, but also explores Chinese culture, customs, society, and the relationships between people and food. It takes you on a journey from rural to urban areas and provides unique insight into China. Personally, I really enjoyed the first and second seasons of this documentary. I highly recommend it to anyone interested in Chinese culture and food. Additionally, the Chinese used in this documentary is a high level, very elegant, making it a great resource for advanced learners. For more documentary, you can check out CCTV 记录. There are 2 Chinese shows that can really help boost your language skills. The first is 奇葩说, a Chinese debate show that covers a wide range of social topics in an entertaining style. For example, some of the topics discussed includes should rookies in the workplace say no to their seniors, or should marriage to be more about material things or love. Another show that I highly recommend is 脱口秀大会, a Chinese talk show competition. I think talk shows are one of the most challenging things for language learners because they involve culture codes, humor, and trendy social topics. If you are looking for authentic Chinese podcasts, I recommend checking out Himalaya app. You can find a variety of Chinese podcasts. I think you can find audiobooks there as well. If you are into radio, you can also use Worldwide Radio add-on to listen to all kinds of Chinese radio. It's great to see so many people interested in learning my beautiful native language and discovering the culture. I know Mandarin can be challenging, but believe me, with passion, discipline, and consistency, you can achieve amazing results. Remember, this is not a competition, so take it slow and steady to win the race. I hope you enjoy this journey. I'm here to help you along the way. As I mentioned before, the study plan with a concrete timeline is a reference for you to create your own learning journey. Please adjust it to fit your situation. If you want to access the Master Plan PDF along with a complete list of resources, please join us in our Discord group by clicking the link in the description box. We regularly share learning resources and methods to help you achieve your goals, and we will try our best to answer all your questions and guide you through. If you appreciate my efforts, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for new videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. 再见，再见。